Thank you so much for coming through. Just take us through what transpired at the briefing.
All right, a very good afternoon to you and our viewers at home. And actually in front of me what I have are two statements, and one that is from Solidarity Union, which is of course representing this suspended teacher from the school also, but most importantly is the statement from the teacher herself, that is Elana Barkhuizen, who for the first time has come out and spoke strongly and perhaps defended herself. And what she said that is that she says, first of all, that she's a good educator, and that this entire incident has been used to discredit her name, and that she is not the one to blame for the incident. That is all she did, is that she took a picture to show parents of how the first day of the children was going at school, and that she says the class did not actually, it was not her classroom to begin with. So all that she did in her defense is that I took a picture and I shared it on social media. This is not my class, yet my name has been brought in public and I'm the one who's suspended. I was not given reasons as to why I'm suspended. And she says that she is not a racist, but also she described the picture as that it's a photograph of children that were happy and smiling, and which is something that when we tweeted this online, people kind of disagreed and said, well, you children will always be happy and smiling. But the fact of the matter, we saw children that were seated along racial lines, and the defense that came through there was that, well, it was because of language barriers that they were forced to be seated that way. But certainly the message is that she's a good teacher and that she is being victimized for something that she's not responsible for, and that it was not her classroom, and that all she did was that she shared an image on social media to show parents that this is how the first day of their children has been going, and that has been used now to suspend without any reasons being given by the Northwest Education Department. So she is taking legal action with the assistance of Solidarity Union, which has come to the party to defend Ms. Barkhuizen here, saying that she is a victim also of politics, of race politics in the country. They say that a lot of these officials just jump into the gun. You mentioned the DA spoke out against this. They mentioned particularly in this speech that is Luvuyo Mpeti, that is a youth leader of the DA in Northwest. They said he jumped the gun and also spoke against the teacher very strongly rather, and they're saying that this teacher is being victimized and that she is not the one to blame for the incident at that school, and that government should be the one that's providing proper education services, or also providing services for language barriers when you have children that cannot speak a certain language, and in that province that seems to be the English and Afrikaans, that there needs to be services provided. That's so teachers do not force to then separate students according to language and seemingly racial lines.
Yeah, I was about to come to that point, Sipho, because we've heard Solidarity in a way blaming the Education Department for the incident, saying that they should have created bridges for children who came to school only speaking Setswana.
Indeed, I mean, one of the interesting things is that they're saying that, this school only, offers that is education in English and in Afrikaans, and that Setswana is not available, and that in one instance we've had the teacher bringing a domestic helper to come help to assist with the language barrier. So they're saying that the department should have come on board and provided services instead of just quickly rushing into the scene and without properly investigating what had happened, and of course that is suspending Ms. Barkhuizen here. But also they're saying that they're going to take this matter with the South African Human Rights Commission to also look into the action of the Northwest Education MEC, that is Silo Lehari, saying that he quickly jumped the gun and also then violated that is Ms. Barkhuizen's rights and painted her as a racist when they did not have the full facts. So there is a bigger issue at play, an issue that concerns language, and that perhaps there need to be language services that are provided to sort of assist the students that cannot speak English and Afrikaans. But then the overall question then that, okay, yes, we understand as it's put that, well, it was language barriers, but then you look at a country like South Africa and its history, and that the fact of the matter, these students were grouped, or rather, the children were grouped along racial lines, and we did see a group of young children, I think about 4 of them, that were seated separately near the entrance, and that sort of image evoked a lot of emotions. But Solidarity says, well, that is something that the country needs to look into going forward. But their main concern right now is this teacher who took the picture and now is seemingly facing the consequences from the Department of Education in that province. They're saying that she should not have been the one to take the blame, and they're calling her an outstanding teacher, and that she loves the children. She's experienced. Some of the information that has come through regarding the teacher herself is that she's been at the school for 2 years, but she's been a teacher for 15 years. So this is somebody who's experienced, and they're saying that she's not a racist, but rather it was an unfortunate incident in that she should not have been the one to take the fall for this, especially since it was not a classroom. But it also is quite interesting that we know that this matter is being suspended, and questions were posed to Solidarity that, well, why not allow a full investigation to take place, and let her, because she's on suspension with full payment, as we understand it. But they're saying it's the principal matter of it all that the Department of Education seemingly jumped the gun. That is, I keep repeating this because that is the main message, that she cannot, that's Ms. Barkhuizen, cannot take the fall for something that is a bigger concern or a bigger issue, that is the issue of language barriers. And how do you bridge students from different backgrounds and different language groups to make sure that they interact well and they understand the subject material that's being taught at their schools. So those are bigger issues that are facing the education system overall, and they're saying that's what government needs to look into, and not punish teachers that are trying different alternatives in terms of their teaching methods. But however, this teaching method seemingly, of course, caused a lot of reaction on social media when we saw those group of students, black children, by the entrance. They're sitting by themselves.
It certainly has, Sipho, because part of what other people are asking is, why is Solidarity specifically taking this matter up? And they made it very clear during the briefing that Barkhuizen was not a member before, but she is now a fully paid member.
Oh, well, yes, that is quite another interesting point. That was, and the media asked this question, that when did she join? And then she actually, that is Ms. Barkhuizen, she only joined after this incident has happened. And they're saying that they are doing this, of course, this is the normal language you get from Solidarity in the principle of justice. They're saying this matter has attracted a lot of media attention countrywide, so they are doing it because there's a public interest in this matter, and they want the truth of the matter to come out. They want the facts to come out. So that's why they're saying they've taken up this matter. They only recently, of course, the facts have been established that only recently did the teacher join Solidarity. They said Solidarity says they were approached by her because there was no one else to assist her in terms of legal fees and dealing with this matter. And certainly that is Ms. Barkhuizen was very emotional. She was crying throughout this press conference. She read only a statement. She did not take any media questions. She did a prepared statement in which she just stated her love for children and her love for the teaching profession, and that she would never discriminate children based on their race, and that this is simply a smear campaign against her. And Solidarity Union seemingly agrees, and they're saying that this is a political campaign. So Solidarity Union is trying to sort of, in a way, buffer what they seemingly that is a political campaign against this school and against the teacher. And they're saying that the main issue here is government's responsibility to integrate, to help with integrating some of these children at schools, and by providing certain language services. So that is why Solidarity is jumping in. They feel that she's being victimized, and that they're doing it for the interest of justice. Okay, Sipho, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for that update. Reporter Sipho Stuurman, live from our SABC studios in Pretoria.